Fake records. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. My dog, it's bigger than hip hop. It's bigger than hip hop.
For me, hip hop is a cultural explosion of ideas that came out of a specific socio-economic environment.
It's a culture, it's a movement.
It's like a culture.
Hip hop is a culture, hip hop is a movement, hip hop is a way of life.
If I had to put hip hop in one word, I would say innovation. When it comes to dance, hip hop and dance, I would say innovation. But when it comes to just the whole umbrella of hip hop, I would say a culture.
It's a culture thing for me, you know, the music, or the elements of hip hop. So you got obviously the graphing,
Music,
Rap,
dance.
and all that. But for me, it's the music for me, you know, and that whole movement really.
No, because I think with everything, let's take it away from hip hop for a second. If we look at everything in terms of like what you got hip hop music, you got your punk music, you got your rock music. Everyone talks about something bad, full stop. Like if there's bad all around us, so whether we like it or not, we can't run away from it. It's just that so happens that hip hop music likes to have, you know, it likes to promote big bums, it likes to promote money spending, like just lavishly, which is good. It likes to promote, you know, like guns.
I don't think it's not deviant at all. Obviously the connotations behind it, you know, where it's starting, you know, some of the culture, some of the especially with the music, some of the affiliations with gangs and, you know, stereotypical black youth or black people or Hispanic in general. I think obviously it's perceived with negative connotations, but it's not negative at all. It's an outlet, it's a way of expression. That itself is art. So it's a way that people express themselves through however it may be, whether it's music, whether it's through rapping, whether it's through graffiti, whether it's through dancing itself. Hip hop itself is a big umbrella for so many different things.
For me, no, definitely not, because it's a social thing. You know, for me, hip hop is having fun. That is what it is for me mainly. You know, vibing off each other. You know, catching jokes, just having a good time. So for me personally, it's got nothing to do with crime or anything.
Originally, when you get into graffiti, obviously it's exciting, the naughtiness of it, but it's the better of two evils really. If someone's doing graffiti, they're staying in drawing a lot, they're not going out, they're not selling drugs, they're not doing anything naughty, so it kind of took me away from the naughty side of life, but I was still being naughty. But in the long term, I got a career as a graphic designer and now a successful artist.
People do involve crime with hip hop, and do people involve the whole kind of dress sense and the way that people act and stuff like that. But I think people need to get to know their own value of hip hop themselves before they can make a judgment on it.
Crime has always been here. That's nothing to do with music. You know what I mean? Crime is always going to be here. As long as there's rich people and there's poor people, and there's always going to be that big gap between the two, there's always going to be crime, no matter where it comes from. You see what I'm saying? Until there's a day where everybody is equal and everybody's living the same way, that's the only way crime ain't going to stop. Hip hop ain't got nothing to do with it.
Hip hop is not unconventional because hip hop has its convention. There are styles and there are techniques. I would say hip hop is unconventional in the sense of it came from the natural raw material of what is known as the streets. That's why I say it's unconventional. It wasn't man-made. It was man-made, but it wasn't man-made because it was made somewhere which man didn't say, okay, now we're gonna do this. It was a thing of, you know what, we need to do something with our lives. You know what, I'm into this, I'm into that, I'm into doing these different things, and that to me is organic. They didn't jump in and make a business plan and say, you know what, this is it. They didn't institutionalize hip-hop and said, this is what it's gonna be. Yes, there are names, there are terminologies, but hip-hop is such a unconventional thing that you cannot really, you know, it's hard for some of us to try and, you know, define the true nature, the true differentiation of hip-hop dance and hip-hop itself, because, you know, so many people are involved in it. So I wouldn't say, you know, it's a deviant. Did you say deviant? I wouldn't say it's a deviant. I would say it's a way of expressing yourself, whether it's positive or negative.
I think that rap music, which is a part of hip-hop culture, has been bastardized by the industry that's selling the culture. Okay, so firstly, where hip-hop's concerned, it is clearly a culture that comes from a particular strata in society, which generally is poorer financially and has less access to resources than maybe some of the upper echelons of society. This is a natural consequence, that will then create a natural situation where people will commit crime because they have not got access to resources. This is a dynamic which has been happening way before hip-hop culture. This is about economy, do you know what I mean? So there is a stigma and a scapegoat, I think, which singles out hip-hop as the responsible thing for all of this crime. But I think that it's economy, obviously, do you know what I mean? And the positive result of the economy is hip-hop. Going back a little bit in time, before hip-hop as an organised culture existed, Africa Bambaataa, who used to be a gangster, he, after a journey to Africa, and then came back to the Bronx, he was the one that set up the idea of the Universal Zulu Nation, which was all about peace, unity, love, and having fun. This was the mantra of original hip-hop values, yeah? It was trying to fight against the socio-economic environment that will breed violence and breed all of these gangster kind of ideals. So actually, hip-hop saved the community from crime and violence.
What is hip-hop? Hip-hop is a culture, hip-hop is a movement, hip-hop is a way of life. For me, jumping on hip-hop from 1998, it's been everything to me, from the way I keep myself going, my motivation, my self-discipline, my self-esteem, my confidence, my identity. Hip-hop has made me who I am today.